What up, everybody? You are tuned into the I Am Duaneus. Damn, I said my whole shit wrong. The famous Duaneus podcast. Damn, I'm already fucking up. So, yeah, me, Dwayne, out here again in these streets with, she damn near my co host now, but we don't believe in titles, right? So,
Y'all know who it is. Ajaya Divine. I told y'all last week I was probably gonna be here this week, so
yeah, so we're just gonna talk about just some things. It's July 1st, the first of the month, rent's due. You know what I'm saying? And we're just talking about, the fourth and how, if niggas should really celebrate it, what are we really celebrating? If we're putting all this energy into not celebrating something, is that still kind of like celebrating it in a way? So, that's, and then we're probably just gonna talk about a whole bunch of other shit too, because why not?
that's what we do.
Yep. There's no structure here. I don't have notes.
Man, I wouldn't even know it was the 4th if people hadn't been fucking popping firecrackers for the last month. I thought it was because of Juneteenth. At first I was like, oh, black people turning up for Juneteenth. That's kind of lit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I thought. But it's just been going on nonstop pretty much. Like, but yeah, my son's father was like, hey, can you bring him over? I'm gonna try to get some fireworks and shit. I was like, all right, whatever. Live your best life, man. Go ahead. Like, he like fireworks and fire. You know what I mean? Like, yes. He don't give a fuck about the fort. I was like, my son don't. Yeah. Well, he don't know. He ain't even gonna listen when they tell him it's the 4th of July. He gonna be like, okay, light it. Like, yeah, fire. Like, so yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I think the fact that it's still such a big deal is more of a problem than whether you celebrate it or not.
And what do you mean by that?
Like, this shouldn't have to still be a question. Like, we know the history of it. That black people was not free, that your ancestors fucking were on plantations or however they were slaves in a house or whatever, not free. However, on the flip side, I have read accounts that said that they used to turn up on the 4th too, because all of the slave owners were in the city popping fire, or in the town square popping fireworks and they weren't coming home until late. So like the slaves used to turn up too. So they used to fuck with the 4th because they knew they was all gonna be somewhere else. So I mean,
which is what's happening now.
Exactly. I was like, it's really no different. Like, we could celebrate it, don't celebrate it. But like, we got to get past the point of judging each other based on this like meaningless shit. Like, it's really nothing. The 4th of July is literally nothing. Like, so why are we trying to like divide over it and like let it like this still a conversation? Like,
yeah, I think it's goofy. I mean, on one end, like because black people have fought in every war ever, because that's just what we do. I think we just like fighting. But it's always
we down for the cause.
Even if it's the wrong one all the fucking time. But yeah, we fought in every war. So like if you're from a military family, then I get it. Like, nah, my ancestors, they fought for this, and I get that. Yeah, I get that. That's noble or whatever. So, I'm not going to completely shit on you. And honestly, like at this point, trying to police other grown ass adults is just goofy. It's counterproductive. Mm-hmm. We got time for that. I'm not about to educate somebody on the 4th at this stage of the game.
Yeah, like it's pretty self-explanatory at this point. Like, and if you don't know why you're celebrating the holiday, that's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, why are you celebrating it? Ask yourself that question. Like, what are you celebrating? You celebrating fireworks? You know what I mean? Like, what is the meaning behind your celebration? Why do you feel so compelled to celebrate it? It's not a habit. But like, what is it? Like, and I don't think people are really trying to ask themselves these questions. And then other people are like, hey, you shouldn't be celebrating it. And it's like, they ain't even thought about why are they celebrating, but they already feel offended because you said I shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, but they ain't even thought about why they doing it. It's just fucking automatic.
Yeah.
Pop fireworks. You know, Easter, do this. Christmas, we do this. Like, it's just automatic. Like,
it's on autopilot. So, and the thing is, it's a thin line between trying to enlighten somebody and just kind of letting people enjoy things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been that guy before on different things, and I realized that, like, yo, and it's not even just like but like holidays and trying to be super woke and shit. Like, I was, even as a kid, like, I was big on dinosaurs and shit, and if you said like it was a wrong dinosaur, I was gonna correct your ass. That's just how I was. So,
yeah.
that's just always how I've been. I was always been a well actually ass nigga, and to finally, to finally have that under control,
man,
it took a lot. I'm growing, but the look on my face is gonna say something.
Oh man, your face always give you away. I done got in so much trouble for my face. Like, I could say something completely different, but they be like, I be like, what? They be like, your face. What? I said I was sorry. Like, what else you want? But I mean, it becomes a point to where you got to, like, no one, if someone was to come up to you and be like, well, why aren't you celebrating, or why you don't want to come to this, or why you want to do this, like, then you hit them with your, well, actually, you know what I mean? And like,
Right.
I'm gonna educate you. As long as you stay in your lane, I'm gonna stay in my lane. And if you want to engage in conversation, let's have conversation. Like, that's how I'm, like, I approach a lot of things now. But I don't know, because then it's like you also want to ask those questions though. Like, I don't want to be the person like, so why y'all celebrate the 4th of July, and not even being like facetious, like, but like, I really want to know, like, what is your answer? You know what I mean? Like, maybe we should have more Exactly. I was like, maybe we should have more conversations where we actually want to know what the other person thinking is, rather than trying to force them to think like us. You know what I mean? Or think like you, whoever it is. Like, I think that's one thing that all the woke people are trying to force somebody to think like them, instead of actually figuring out why they think the way they think. Like, that's why you gotta leave them woke folks alone.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it's just, I don't want you to think like me. I just want you to think.
Man, that's it. That is absolutely it. And then we always think that, like, because we tell them the truth, they're gonna think about it in a certain way, and like, not everybody really just want to think. Like, real shit. Like, I had to accept that too. Like, not everybody actually wants to think.
It's too. It's just easy to on autopilot. So
yeah.
So I'm deciding to go a little fake woke right now. Just Google the etymology of holiday from the 1500s earlier. Holiday, the Old English holiday or holiday, consecrated day, religious anniversary, the Sabbath. I don't know how the hell you pronounce that shit, but anyway, basically it's a religious festival and a day of exemption from labor and recreation. But pronunciation and sense diverge. 16th century. All right, I'm done reading this. But you get the point.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what it is. It's a holy day. It's supposed to be a holy day. So, like, do you really see it as a holy day? Like, when you're celebrating all this stuff, is it really a holy day? Like, is that what you're going to label as your holy days? You know what I mean? Like, is that what you want to do on, like, if you think about all the holidays in US culture are all about doing shit that's like not good for you or fucked up in some kind of way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just Thanksgiving, you like overeating all the shit and do, the most. Christmas is like all materialistic, and you know what I mean? Like, not for everybody, but the general culture, like, this is a very materialistic holiday. Like, those are your holy days. Like, think about that. You know what I mean? Like, think about the things you do on your holy days, and that's what you consider holy.
Yeah.
Like,
and not to make it less spooky. I mean, you look up the etymology of holy, which I knew this for a minute because like I said, I'm fake woke.
You can read.
Yeah, I could
That's
read
the
whatever.
first step.
I'm saying hooked on phonics work for me. You know what I mean? But I mean, holy just means purely devoted. So if it's just devoted to a certain thing that you're, directing your energy to, what is that going to be for you?
Exactly. So what, like, and that's what, in like most holidays, people just get, a lot of people just get fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what you're devoting yourself to. That's what you were, you know what I mean? That, in a sense, that's what you're worshiping. That's what you're giving your energy to. These
Yep.
are like the big days you look forward to. Like, so that's a programming in itself. Like, that's a mind control. Like, they so good at this shit. It's great. Like, I
Yeah,
can't even be mad.
exactly. I remember on this other podcast, which I'm not sure if I want to bring the archives out for my old DD shit, because I might really get canceled. I'm just thinking about all this shit I said over the years. Oh man.
I can only imagine.
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
but um damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Holidays, celebrations.
He was talking about bringing out your old shit.
Yeah. So I mean, like, just the concept of just us doing everything together, like, does it really, no, the Bible says, when two or three are gathered together, that will be in the midst. So, with that, you think about a celebration. You think about
Yeah.
sex magic. You think about shit, a riot, like a march, a
Yeah.
movement. Whenever,
All of
like,
that.
yeah. So if we're gathered
Yeah.
together in the name of getting fucked up, in the name of independence, in the name of anti-independence or being against, the establishment, like, that spirit's going to be in the midst.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, what are you summoning this Saturday?
Hey. And
Saturday,
that
Saturn's day.
oh, you don't went all the way. You don't went all the way woke on them. You in the 5D now, woke. I just no, but because if we think of gatherings for holidays or whatever, like that's what it is in this culture. But if you take it back a few hundred years, 3, 4, 500 years, you got like actual rituals. You got like the rain dances. You got like, you know what I mean? Like you have like real live ritual stuff that they got together to get shit done. And
Right.
like our holidays ain't getting shit done. Like it's not moving towards any goal. It's just an empty celebration. And I
Right.
think like people are selling holidays short. You know what I mean? Like you got all this energy and you don't put all this stuff to it to hang out and get fucked up and go home and nothing changed. You know what I mean? Like to not go into it with a goal or how are we growing or nothing. Like everything is so empty and void of spirit. It's just a ritual. It's religious because it's the ritual, but they're missing the spirituality of it. So like
Right.
this has become a religion. Like doing these holidays, that's your religion now.
Yeah.
Like, and and I'm not here to judge you for it, but you need to acknowledge
Yeah.
what's going on. Like, that's your religion. I respect that. I respect all religions.
Even if you don't have one.
Even if you don't have one, because that's a religion. Because
Mm.
it just means how you live your life. That's your religion. Like every day you get up, do you brush your teeth? That's a ritual. You know what I mean? Do you
Right.
wash your ass? That's a ritual. You know what I mean? Do you journal? Do you do yoga? Whatever it is, that's your ritual. So that becomes your religion. So I respect all religions. Get your life on.
Yes, some people's religion, some people wipe front to back, some people wipe back to front.
Right.
You know?
Hey, whatever your ritual is, I respect it.
Oh man.
Wow, that just reminded me of a story. Listen, this is just a short PSA. Listen, make sure your children know how to properly clean up after themselves if they are like 9, 10, and older, if they make a mess in the bathroom. Like if they shit and they get shit somewhere, like they should be cleaning up after themselves if you let them go to other people's house and stay the night. PSA. I'm that sorry I had to. Cause my cousin's daughter was over here and she called him and she was like, Can my friend come over? And he was like, she was like, she not nasty, she not nasty. And I was like, nasty. I'm thinking like she like they be trying to sneak boys or something in the house. That's what my first thing, like, they not nasty. Dang, like, okay. But then she was like, nah, this one girl came over and I ain't gonna do the details, but left a murder scene and a boo-boo scene. So yeah, and this was like 13, 14 years old. So just PSA.
14?
Make sure your ritual and clean teaching your children how to clean up after themselves and clean themselves properly. You know, if we're talking about rituals and religion, you know. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Black crime. That's a damn shame. So
you know, we're talking about religions and rituals and, you know, wiping ass. So that just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, especially, you know, this holiday thing, you know, some people's gonna be having people over. Like,
man. Listen, y'all gonna get kicked out like everybody on house party. Just get out, you know, broke the damn toilet, ain't try to plunge nothing, ain't told nobody, just walking out like ain't shit happened.
But shit did happen.
And there's proof.
So, as far as making a new tradition, I mean, what kind of ideas did you have as far as the 4th?
Okay, well, here's the first question. Are you making your traditions around their celebration? So are you just gonna be like, well, we're used to doing this at this day, so instead we're gonna do this and do this on this day? Or are you just gonna be like, fuck their days and pick your own days? So that's first. But let's just say that you are going to stick with the 4th. Like you're going to try to do something to kind of, because you still live in the midst of the culture. So you don't want to just like not celebrate or not be a part of nothing or for your kids to miss out.
Right.
But I think you got to define, like, what do you want the day to accomplish? What do you want it to mean to you? Like, what does it mean to you? You know what I mean? Like, so if you're going to stick with the theme of independence, then really do something that makes you feel independent. Like, what does that mean to you? Does it, you know, whatever that may be, hell, it might be better to make your independence going camping and having to catch your own food. You know what I mean? That way you can go teach your children how to do some shit that might actually start a fire, catch some food, recognize a few plants. Now you actually are cultivating independence. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just having an empty celebration, if we just throwing ideas out. That's not a bad one though.
Yeah, that's definitely, I can dig that. I think that yeah, because the thing is, you know, the holidays are just really just there's just a vacuum of energy. That's like that's where the spiritual IRS goes to, you know,
man, clean you out.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a collective, whatever. So, I mean, I'm just thinking about, like, not even just like this holiday, like, you know, the whole Kwanzaa thing. You know, it's right after Christmas, so you're moving off of that, and then just to find out that the person that came up with that was using that to be an op and spy on niggas during gatherings.
Listen, hey, but whatever.
Yeah.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, I guess.
Exactly. So, like,
hey, fuck that baby. I'm just
fuck that baby.
Oh man, I was just playing. If you like Kwanzaa, get your Kwanzaa on, man. That's what I did. I respect all religions, but I got jokes for everybody.
Yeah. Again, very solid principles and stuff like that. But yeah, just know that it came from ops. But is it any more opty than, that's a word I made up just now. Is it any more opty than, you know, celebrating these regular pagan holidays that were like birthed in like filth or just the oppression of melanated people?
And here's the thing about it is, if They don't really care what the fuck you celebrate, as long as you are spending your money, because that's the true religion. Like that's really their religion, their God. Money is God. So they don't give a fuck whether you celebrate Kwanzaa and buy gifts at the end of Kwanzaa, or if you celebrate Christmas and buy gifts on Christmas. They don't really give a fuck what you celebrate, because all they want you to do is spend the money and put that energy out. They want, you know what I mean? Like, that's all they want. They don't care. That's like, that was my thing about when I thought people were popping fireworks for the Juneteenth. I was like, good shit. I'm glad, hey, do something different, stand up and thing. I was like, they don't give a fuck as long as y'all buying fireworks, but
right.
But at least you are making an attempt to like show some kind of like we doing something else. You know what I mean? Like, I can respect that. But at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck as long as you buy my fireworks. You know what I mean? Like,
They
I'm
probably
good.
put more fireworks this year than any other year.
Yep.
And they probably, well, I live in a black neighborhood. Been black all my life, so I don't expect to hear nothing for real, since I've been hearing everything this past month.
Man, I hope it should be silent on the 4th. The way they've been letting off. I've been tempted to walk around the corner to the next block to see who the fuck has been doing fireworks every night.
Yeah.
The same spot in the neighborhood. Who? What? Why? Why?
I hear that's a government operation. They just dropped.
Man, it feel like it. It fucking feels like it. Because I'm like, they are letting off fucking sonic booms. Like,
yeah.
Like 2 or 3 of them. And I know I've heard people say in other places it's like nonstop. But like here, it's just like 2 or 3. And I also live in a neighborhood that was labeled a COVID hotspot to watch. So like, I know they trying to fuck us all the way up. Like, I'm coming out swinging. Like I'm located on top of the wrong zip code. I'm not in the zip code because I'm not a corporation, but I ain't gonna go there. But yes, yes, we are a COVID hotspot. We got like a little mega church that's not too far, a little black miniature mega church. They got like the food pantry. They starting to like buy up parts of the block and shit and moving this way. And like they the biggest fucking traitors and spies and all shit. And I'm like, I'm in the fucking belly of the beast.
And that's funny. Yeah, we're just gonna go off on like a whole bunch of tangents. I already said that, but and we even said this before the show started, before we started recording. But when my brother, he graduated from Howard or whatever, and we was in DC. It was just happened to be on Mother's Day, that Mother's Day weekend. Mm-hmm. So we went to this church or whatever, and they had talked about how like they bought up all the surrounding property in the midst of gentrification, which is a good thing. And I really feel like, honestly, if they were doing the right thing, like the freedom that everyone's talking about would have been had already. But at the same time, I feel like they wouldn't have that luxury to do what they do without being part of the optics.
They're not, because they're a 501c3 and you have to get permission to operate, and they can take that status away at any point in time. So yes, you have to be the op to be the church. Then if you get too big and you feel like you getting they feel like you might have a little bit too much power to start moving, they coming in to we having a conversation. You know what I mean? We're gonna have a conversation, and life can get real uncomfortable for you. We can start combing over them books real tightly to see if what you said was going on is really going on. And for most churches, if they can't even if they haven't really started functioning in the big leagues, they might not even have like a real accountant. So they could just fucked up on the fact that whoever did it didn't really know what they was doing. You know what I mean? Like, so they could get caught up on some like, oops, shit, for real. You know what I mean? Like, but if you starting to move big money and you got the ear of enough black people, somebody coming to have a conversation with you, like, period. And it might be somebody who look like you. Like, they coming, you know what I mean? They gonna send in the big pastor that they gonna send in the big pastor from the mini mega church over here.
Yeah.
To come talk to you and pull all the other pastors together and pull them under them. Like, it's so many strings moving behind the scene. Like, I don't trust these niggas.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy if you really think about it, because everything is so organized that it looks like it's not organized.
Mm-hmm.
And that's by design. Shit, man, they're really a clever people. I can't front.
Mm-hmm. And then the most clever thing of it all is they do it all with consent.
Hmm.
Like they don't force anybody to do anything, really. I was like, you give your consent, you know what I mean? Like, so we were just researching, one of my groups, we were just researching into the 50 IRC 508. And that's basically a 501c3, the big one that everybody wants to go to, nonprofit. But if you don't register it with the state and you don't tell them that you're functioning as of like you don't, incorporate and you just do business, you're automatically tax exempt.
Mm,
You don't need their permission to do any of it. But you also may not qualify for those monies and things that they give away. So like you
you pay
want
to
that shit, you gotta pay to play. Like, and that's just, and hey, some people want to play, some people don't, but some people don't even know they have the option not to be a 508. But the minute you incorporate, you give them permission to basically govern you and take over your organization, like with consent.
right,
Like you the one incorporated. We didn't tell you who had to do that. Like you did that. And
right.
so this is what come with that. But like people, we don't even know not to incorporate. Like, cause I incorporated mine.
Mm,
But like, so it's weird because they get you to give your consent without even knowing that you had the option not to.
right.
Like you have the option not to get the birth certificate. You know what I mean? You got the option not to celebrate the 4th of July, my nigga. Like you got options out here. Like everybody got options, but like the thing is to make it seem like you don't have any and you have to do this or this is the way for it to be done. And then people just keep doing it. Like,
Yeah. So my job, is in sales. No, I don't sell drugs. But, you know,
street pharmaceuticals.
but when you think about, the psychology of sales, as far as when you ask a question, you could ask, all right, so do you do this or do you do that? It could be something totally different that you do, but I'm giving you these two choices because you're either going to answer with that, you're going to answer how I want you to answer based on
Exactly.
how I'm suggesting things. And that's kind of the same thing. It's real, it's real diabolical shit.
Yeah. Like it's and I studied like sociology that everyone talks about, that's an easy major. And like it's, and I mean, it was not challenging. I will tell you, it wasn't like challenging or anything like that. But the information within that thing I was like, yo, they're literally controlling people. Like when I was in
Yeah.
like my sociology of behavior class, I was in this bitch like shaking, like, are y'all sleep? Like what we
Yeah.
didn't, this was a night class too. And I was just like, y'all, like, and like the quote was one of like my favorite quotes. I can't like get it straight for straight, but they was like, sociology is either not real or the biggest most dangerous weapon that we have. Like,
Yeah. It
and
is.
I was like, it is the biggest most dangerous weapon that you have. Like you could get people to do anything. Like look around you, they have gotten people to do everything.
Yeah.
Hell, I know a woman, her son went to jail, caught up in the riots, and facing federal time because he had a Mazel Tov on him when they found him. I don't know any more details about that, but like they're literally getting people to do just all through programming, all through like understanding sociology and the power of like society and culture.
Right.
Like, and we don't understand that. Like, we always talk about like Black people like to talk about white people not having a culture,
Hmm.
but there's still a lot of Black people that don't understand the true power of culture, and that's why they still continue to give in and continue to celebrate this culture. U.S. culture, oppressive culture, is because they don't. Black people still don't understand the power of culture because everything has always been forced. So they've had, Black people have had this like overarching culture of like U.S. capitalism or whatever, and
Right.
they've made a little culture off of that culture and brought some of themselves back into it. But y'all, it's still U.S. culture. Like Black culture is still U.S. culture. It's a subculture of U.S. culture. So like it's still oppressive and it's still bullshit at the end of the day. with some gold wine in it because niggas is niggas. Like, we gonna make the best out of whatever it is. It's gonna be the best of that culture, but it's still U.S. culture.
Right. The nigga version. So
yeah.
speaking of nigga culture, one of the biggest books that really opened my eyes to some things was this book called Black Rednecks, White Liberals by Thomas Sowell. And it was talking about how a lot of what's considered nigga culture was originally cracker culture, as far as like low, poor whites, and how they also like to indulge in drink and revelry and stuff like that. It's just not as cool. They're prone to violence, and actually, like, they were actually discriminated against in certain aspects more so than black people. Like, if you were a suburban or an upperly mobile Negro, you were more likely to, be rented to or given a property as opposed to somebody who's like, yeah, I'm here from
Yep. I could, yeah. Billy Bob.
Yeah. Me and my cousin lover are here. We're trying to start a family. Like, you know what I mean? So it was interesting. And
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, so it's just, and the things that we really focus on as a culture is it's toxic, but we just make things so fun. I think that's really the issue.
I mean, and it's only an issue because we have only been fed destruction.
Yes.
So we are making destruction fun.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like that's the problem. Like, if we were making building and being productive fun, great. We would have nothing to say, but we have made our own destruction a fucking party.
Yeah, because that's what niggas do. Niggas love to have a good time. Think about it.
And it's fucking lit.
If you went to hell and all your friends were there, is it really that bad?
No, not at all.
Niggas is lit. What you mean?
Listen. And I remember I went to jail in college for some bullshit, but I ain't gonna get on that. And I was like, God damn, I'm sobering up and shit now. And I was like, and they were like, all right, put me in my cell. And my teammate was in this bitch, and I was like, it's lit.
Yeah.
It don't feel like jail no more. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah. I mean, it still is, and we still fucking in there in jail, but it's like, it's not that bad. Like,
yeah,
it's not that bad. And so they've made it not that bad. Like, that's what the whole black struggle within the U.S. system has been like. It's just not that, nothing is as bad as slavery. Right. So anytime you make a little bit of progress, it's not good, but it's not that bad. Right. And then you get a little bit of that, you get tired of that, you want some more, and they give you a little bit more, and it's still not good, but it's not that bad. Like, and that's just like the continuum that, we just, like, black people are stuck on. Is just like, I don't want to be just not that bad. Like, I don't, like, that is not a goal. Like, that is not an end goal. Like, yeah, I can't.
They even do shit like, they'll give a little bit of this, and then as they're giving away stuff, then they'll take something, and then they'll wait a couple years and then give it back to you like it's new, and they can just eat that shit up, and it's just crazy. So the thing I was talking about before, and this is a culture thing. This is very low vibrational conversation right now. So
yes,
you can take your tinfoil do rag off if you're listening.
Not the tinfoil do rag. I just seen a nigga take off his tinfoil do rag in my head. Like, I really pictured it.
So
he had on a jersey.
Of course he did. So Black America's favorite family, the Smiths.
Oh Lord. Yes, please. Come on. That's the new Cosby's.
Oh damn. So this I guess he's a singer. August Alsina.
Okay.
Was around, I guess he was under Jada Pinkett's wing, after his I think his brother and his sister had died. He like took over like all their kids. He just kind of had sole custody of them.
Okay.
Some people may think it's sacrifice. I'm not trying to do all that right now. You think what you want to think. I don't want to be a dick. This time.
Man, this time.
So, yeah, she's been taking him under the wing, and then he was doing an interview, and he was basically alluding to the fact that mentorship was a little bit romantic. And then all of a sudden, all these pictures start coming out. And I mean, I've heard people talking about it before. And basically, he's saying that Will Smith gave him his blessing to, partake in those cheeks or whatever. And everyone's saying that, this is kind of predatory because Jada Pinkett is 48, I think.
Okay.
First 48. That's the numerology of this thing. And he's 27. So
boy, bye.
But he was in a very vulnerable state. He just, he lost two people close to him, and he's addicted to drugs. He's in Hollywood. You know what Hollywood does.
Listen, these niggas made a whole movie called what? The Wedding, was it The Wedding Crashers, where they went around and then Will Ferrell was crashing funerals. Like, y'all done made movies about this shit. Well, now, I mean, like, okay, it happened in real life. Maybe it did. Who knows? But like, probably.
Yeah.
I feel like Will and Jada to be that fucking happy, and they definitely have an open relationship.
To be that happy.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be honest. That's just how I feel. Because for one, they in Hollywood. For two, it's fucking Will Smith. And Jada. Let's not get it twisted. Like,
what do you mean?
Come on.
What do you mean?
They've known to take long breaks apart and shit, trying to get their head right. They talk about everything. These are usually people who are in non-traditional type of relationships. And that's just the truth of the situation. Like, when people who are in monogamous relationships usually are not that open with each other. Because, they feel like they could lose. You know what I mean? Like, leaving is an option for most people out here. For Will and Jada, leaving was never an option. Like, that's not on the table. And just from the way I've heard them talk about their relationship, they definitely are open to the idea of someone, like, come on now. It's just my intuition. I was like, that's just my intuition.
Yeah.
Because, and also to be a lot of people who are there's always levels to this, but a lot of people who are really kind of very spiritual are not held to the same rules that other people are held to. You can look at how they let their children express themselves and go their own way to know that they're not going to stop each other from doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not a judgment. I think that shit's fucking lit. Get it how you live. You know what I mean? Like, but I can see that happening. I can see, because it's not like he wouldn't smash Jada.
Right.
So what are we talking about? And he was 27. I thought it was gonna be like he was like 20. You know what I mean? Like, this nigga almost 30.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I think she was like 35, I think. There was some 35-year-old that came up to me in the club when I was like 27. She goes, "You look good for your age." I'm sitting there like, stupid. But yeah, that could definitely be a thing. But I mean, honestly, again, low-hanging fruit, big distraction, and then people start, telling on themselves as far as, the kind of lifestyle that they may live by, why don't you leave them alone? And then some people are like, look, some of y'all got an ugly South seen in y'all relationship, y'all don't even know it.
Hey, listen. So, like I said, but here's the thing. So that's low hanging fruit. But why are people so enamored by it? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, I said something about it, you said something about it or whatever, and like, that could be the end of the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, everybody can express their opinion based on what they took in, but it shouldn't become this long-winded debate because it's not your fucking relationship. You know what I mean? Like, right. Are they happy? They happy. He good? Jada good? Like, did he, you know what I mean? Like, why are you so fucking worried about it? Like, why? Because idol worship.
And even if they're not good, who really cares?
That too. That too.
You know,
Who
like,
really cares?
you know, one of their kids look like they have a really low T cell count. That's what we should really be worried about. But here we are worried about this mess.
This mess. But it just shows like how, like, can you imagine? Like, we got, well, goddamn, can you hear that?
Yeah. Feds kicking out your door.
Listen, yeah, done. Anyway, but why? Like, okay, so how can we say on one hand, how people saying like we're in the middle of a revolution and blah 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 and all this stuff and da 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 and Black Lives Matter, and literally turn around and have a conversation about this, like a long like, and argue with somebody about this and have this like, are we really in the middle of what you say we in the middle of, or did they just sound good when you said it? Because like, why the fuck are we talking about this? You know what I mean? Like, nah, like I said, you can have an opinion about it. I get that. But like, I can only imagine the conversations being had on social media. Like, I can only imagine the think pieces.
Yep.
I can only imagine all of the bullshit that's coming out of there that just like, if niggas could focus. Like, that's why they throw this stuff out at you, because they want you, because so you can't focus on anything. And like, y'all just keep on like, niggas could have everything they want in their hands and they throw something else and niggas gonna throw it down and catch the next thing. Like, god damn.
Think about it. The white man has indoctrinated us and set us up to have ADHD. So this is the perfect time to throw something in the middle of it. Because you know, when you're in real war, there's no commercial break, there's no intermission, my nigga. There's none of that.
Exactly. None of that. And that's how we should be looking at it.
Depending on your enemy, they might have, they might, not bomb you on Christmas or Ramadan.
Yeah, they might respect your holy days so you can get fucked up.
Or they might move on your holy day, be real disrespectful, because it is war.
Man. Exactly. You just gotta know who you at war with. How gully is these niggas? And we know these niggas will do anything. Literally anything. And I'm like, y'all, like, if you have any like a psychology, sociology, counseling, any like mental health or like social behavioral field, if you went to college for any of that, took any of those classes, you should understand how easy it is to manipulate people in their minds, their behaviors. You should know all of this. And it's like everybody learns in like a vacuum and just like tuck it away like is something separate from life. And I'm like, y'all, that's why they have industrial psychologists. They have all these different fields of psychology so they can learn how to manipulate people to get them to do what they want to do. Because at the end, your energy is all that matters. Yeah. Like, that's it. That's all they want is your energy so they can manipulate it and create what they want to create. So it's like, take it the fuck back. Like, just stop. Who cares? Like literally, who cares? Like, will it change your life this way or that way? If Jada did or did not book him, does it change your life? Or are you so enamored with these idols and all this idol worship that they have installed on you because the celebrities are your gods? Mm-hmm. So are you just so caught up in these live mythologies that are going on? Because at this point, you can clearly see that these represent mythology. Like, these celebrities represent different gods and goddesses from throughout. Like, I ain't even now I done went to 5D woke.
And these idols are supposed to keep you idle.
Listen, we just saying it. It's just the truth. Like, they're literally keeping you stuck in a cycle, and that's why they're paid money to do that. Like, they are the new gatekeepers. They are the people, because if they kept feeding you white people, you were not gonna pay attention. Niggas was not about to. They had to give you more and more black people in these positions, and to hold your attention. They had to give you more and more and more black people doing more and more things to hold your attention. So like, what you think is a W because we're seeing this expand of black people and everything is really just another trap to keep you locked down where you're at, but they're going to sell it to you as a victory. So you celebrate your own demise, because all we know how to do in Black culture is celebrate destruction, because they taught you that way.
Yeah.
Like,
you can get a lot of money distracting the masses, and you have to wonder, why is that so valuable? If you're able to make this much money, how much money are you making the people that are paying you? And not only how much money are you making them, how much power
are you giving them? But that's too deep for people.
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
where people be like, well, that's just too deep. Like, so that always like used to burn me. Like, they used to burn me. Like, oh yeah, yes, that's just too deep. So like, you rather stay shallow and be fucked in the ass, or
just a tip?
It's too deep because it makes you uncomfortable, or you don't want to think about how. Listen, this would remind me of my mama. So this whole like COVID and the mask and everything, and she's just like, I don't understand. It's just to speak to culture. I'm like, Mama, this is like the new culture, like the mask, social distancing, all this stuff. Like, that is going to be a culture. That is a new culture. Like, but like, this COVID shit ain't real. Like, I was like, it's just not. And she was like, well, because she works in a hospital, at the Veterans Hospital, and she's like, I just feel like if it was really a thing and it was as dangerous as they say it is, like, I would have it by now. Like, I would have been, like, she's like, my mom's will be 60 this year. She's not like the healthiest person in the world, but she's by far she's still mobile and do stuff. We just pulled up carpet out of one of the rooms of her other day. So don't get me, like, she's still like somewhat active and healthy, but her diet is horrible, like all this, always been like all this shit. But she's fine. You know what I mean? Like, she had to get tested once, so they said she was exposed to somebody and she tested negative. Like, so, and she was like, I don't feel right. She's like, but when I wear that mask, I be feeling sick. My throat be getting sore and stuff. And da-da-da. I was like, yeah. And then they want to get you tested because you have symptoms, right? Right. And it don't make sense. And she was like, I don't know, but I know one thing, Donald Trump don't never wear a mask. Like, that's what she was like, he don't never wear a mask. And I was like, Mama, it's okay to say the news is lying to you. They are literally lying to you. Say it. It's okay to say it. Like, say there, but she it's hard to face. You don't want to face that fact. Like, people don't want to face the fact that they are being lied and taken advantage of to the fullest. Like, not even just a little bit, like all the way to the max. Like, all the way to the max. And like, I get it, that's real hard to like accept and say. So I rather just celebrate and do what I do and just be happy from day to day, happy. And, pretend like I want a revolution and freedom.
I mean, if you think about it, this can be parallel to a lot of things. But I'm going to just use two examples. So I've been saying this for years, that employment and relationships run parallel. So if we think about a dead-end job or an abusive relationship, you stay at the job because you need something. You stay in this relationship because you need something. That person needs you, you need them. There's some sort of symbiotic relationship going on. This nigga has the meanest backhand in the West. You know it. Whenever you see that twinkle in his eye, you know he's gonna uppercut you at your sundress. Domestic violence is funny.
Listen, it's not funny, but these mental images. I had this lady in like a yellow sundress, and it just like flew up.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, overactive imagination.
This is a sign of intelligence. Know that you're gonna get denied that PTO at the job.
Man.
You know that, yes, your grandmother died, but your job doesn't give a fuck. They still want that obituary. They're gonna question you on that.
Man.
But still you stay. And that's the relationship with Black people and really just people in general. But we're talking about Black people right now.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
And their relationship with the mainstream media, with the widely accepted narrative.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's bullshit, but here we are. And if you start to really peel back the layers of how much bullshit it really is, we get irritated because it's like, then we realize that there's going to have to come a point where we acknowledge our participation in the bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Willing participation, like, because here's the thing, and this is why there's such an evil genius, like they're just so great at it. All right, so they just kind of did this whole thing where they admit, and it's been coming to the forefront, that like they've been mistreating Black people, they've been, you know, represented wrong in the media. You know, like maybe last year there was this whole thing that, you know, representation matters and getting more Black people and stuff and blah blah blah, this and that. Mm-hmm. So we heard them admit that like we haven't been doing y'all right in media, on the news, all this stuff, blah blah blah. We give y'all some people some moral victories, yay. Then we give you a narrative that you like, but it's still bullshit. Like, that's the evil. Like, so now we're gonna feed you something that you've been dying for because we starved you of it. Then we're gonna give you something that we give you all these distractions in the middle to make it seem like there was a break. You know what I mean? Like, to make it seem like it's not a continuous thing. We give you this little break with all these moral victories in the middle, and then we give you another narrative that you like because you feel like now you're getting that representation, and now people know what's really going on, and now people have to face the Black story and the truth and da 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 da. But it's still bullshit because they the same bullshitters from before, y'all. They didn't change. It's just that now this bullshit fits their agenda to give you. Like, now this bullshit fits, so we're gonna give it this, and we know you're gonna eat it up because it looks like you, and it talks about your struggle, and it acknowledges you, and it says, "Oh, Black people have been wrong." Like, whenever Apple Music only had Black people, like on that blackout day, or they did something where they was only doing something with like Black artists, I would say, "Oh, this shit is set up. This is a setup, y'all." Mm-hmm. This is a fucking set. Are y'all buying this? Y'all eating this shit up? But, you know, like I said, I respect all religions.
You know, I got 2 points here. So I'm very much a skeptic as well when things are, you know, when they go mainstream. You know, honestly, this is no different than when they put the rainbow flags on stuff. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. It's just pandering to a group. But at the same time, those people are probably getting a cut for something. You know, they have more skin in the game. But us is like, here, take little nigger trinkets, you know, whatever.
We don't get nothing but moral victories and good feelings. Because that's all we demand. That's all Black people want, is like an apology. Yeah. Like, or to be recognized or to be acknowledged. And that don't change shit to do with systemic racism. Sorry. Like, that don't have shit. That apology and that acknowledgement and all of that don't do shit to change mass incarceration. That does not do shit to change poor education. That does not do shit to change the economic. It don't do shit. But like, you can see the relief and the happiness when Black people get that little bit of something. And that's how you know, like, how starved they've been. You know what I mean? Like, they literally starved you, and now they're giving you crackers, and you like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God.
Like, or like psychological abuse.
Yeah.
If you've ever, I'm about to make it seem like I'm telling a personal story, but now, like, if it's like some chick that, you know, that's fine, but she doesn't know that she's fine.
Right.
That's prime pickings for an abuser.
Yeah.
Because she look good on the arm, but she don't realize, like,
got that low self-esteem.
So I can mold her to be whatever I want her to be. And honestly, I really think that Black America should treat America the way that Paula Patton treated Robin Thicke. Because that's exactly they're doing that Robin Thicke shit right now. The public displays of "I'm sorry."
They are.
I'm making an album for you. Yeah, it's trash, but still, I made it for you.
Which one was for her? I forget.
Paula.
Oh, it was a whole fucking Paula. I didn't even listen to that bitch. I
I
only
didn't
listened to
either.
like the two before that. I remember that.
And I used to like it.
Yes, they are on their Robin Thicke. Yeah, I liked him before he became the Robin Thicke that everybody knew. When he had that dirty ass, long ass ponytail, he was riding a bike through like some city.
And he showered every like 5 days.
Yeah, I liked that. He seemed like he was a real down to earth nigga. I liked him, but then he had to get an image.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. It worked because it was, man, black women loved them some Robin Thicke back in like, probably still now, but I know like back in like 2008, maybe 9, like,
Yeah.
man, he was hot.
And the thing was, Paula Patton was his high school sweetheart. So they
That's
were
crazy.
together like from way back when.
Way back then.
And then he just decided to do whatever he did. I don't know what it is. It ain't my business. I don't really care.
They didn't have the Will and Jada relationship.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
So, but still, he did all of these things. And I remember somebody was like, man, they be probably putting on that Paula for her to get her back blown out by some other nigga. While that shit's playing.
Just spiteful shit. Laughing at that nigga.
Now, I'm not telling you back in America to go get your cheeks clapped, but if that's what you want to do. But what I'm saying is, do not fall for the public display of affection, because what they're doing is they're trying to guilt you into that. Like, see, I'm doing this in front of you.
I'm so sorry. Look, I really mean it.
I've kept you in the dungeon. I've kept you in the basement. I've kept you in all these places we aren't on the forefront. And I know you like to shine. I know you niggas love the spotlight. So now I'm giving you the spotlight. So come on back to daddy.
Man, if it's not an abusive relationship, like, understand how textbook. It's like the relationship with black people in the US is like a textbook abusive relationship. Like, it's so like, maybe that's how we get people to see it. Like, you in an abusive relationship, they just punched you in the eye, bow, told you to sit the fuck down, shut up, left, came back the next, like, late that night, knocking on the door trying to apologize and shit, and you open the door and let them back in. Y'all have like this little honeymoon period, and then bam, punched you in your other eye because he said you stepped out of line and said some shit that made him, you know what I mean? Like, it's literally that you just want to be good enough. You just walking around on eggshells, like, I just don't want to make them mad. Or you turn into the other battered, I would call battered woman. I mean, I guess men go through domestic violence too, but the women, the battered woman syndrome, or just like the thing, like, women respond to a lot of ways. Some women go to fuck off and go crazy and like black out and try to like kill this nigga too, but they're usually outmatched. You know what I mean? Like, some women will even pick a fight first so they can be in control of when they get their ass beat. Like, there's many different ways of how abused people deal with the abuse and try to like feel like they have some kind of control over it. So now you're seeing the different types of black people and how you got the one that's gonna try to please, like, if we just follow the rules, y'all, and do this and do that, like, we'll be good. They're not like, we'll be good. Then they get hit and they're like, but it's not that bad. We have been hit worse before. We're gonna get up, we're gonna keep going. It's all good. Don't worry about it. And then you got the ones that be like, man, fuck you. And you got your rioters, you know what I mean? Like, that weren't paid or sent there by, anyway. And you got those people that's just like, fuck the system. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do everything the opposite because fuck you, but I'm still not going to leave, but fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, cause they're still like wanting that same. Yeah, all of that good stuff. And then you got the people that's just like, for whatever reason, they just in there like trying to dodge a move. Not all the way people pleaser, but not all the way fuck you. They just kind of like, man, I'm just in this shit. Keep my head down, try to bob and weave, might block a few. You know what I mean? Like, might be able to stay on their toes a little bit better. But at the end of the day, you still gonna get caught with one of those to the eye when you ain't ready.
So what about the battered woman that smiles through it all and each day puts a little bit of antifreeze in his tea? See, back in the day,
Okay, now that's
antifreeze used
now
to
we
taste like Kool-Aid.
now those are, that's the next step. That is the slow planner to get out. You know what I mean? It understands that there is no escaping. There's no change coming, but it's still, they still don't have the strength to just leave, or they just vindictive and they're like, I'm gonna take this, I'm killing your ass right here. You know what I mean? As we speak, you think I'm this weak little whatever, and I'm killing you from the inside. I might be able to fuck with that. Me, I'm gone. Like I had like if I could say personally what I had my brush with domestic violence. Got all my shit thrown out over the balcony.
That's why you live on the first floor.
Man. And gathered that shit up. And my first thought when I saw my shit flying over the balcony, I was like, God damn, that's my shit. Like, this is fucked up. My second thought was, now I have to figure out a way to get in there to get my shit though. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, that was pretty much like, all right, cool. And I went back in the sense of friends, because I had literally moved down there and offered to move in and, whatever. Move back as friends until get on your feet, get a place and all that shit. And that lasted about like 2 weeks. And then he came in his bitch beating on the wall. And I was like, Ed, I'm gone. Because I don't need you beating on no walls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you hitting nothing in my presence. Like, absolutely nothing. And yeah, so like at some point you have to leave. Or I guess if you're committed to murder, then kill him. But like that's pretty much your two choices, or you're gonna be like an abused person forever. Like,
so now here comes the part that is really controversial. What does the poisoning look like? How does that translate?
How does that translate? For me, that translates to slowly exiting the system while still being able to benefit while you're in it. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, that looks like, you might still go to work, you might still do these other things, but you have an exit plan. You know what I mean? You have an exit strategy. You don't plan to be a property of the US, a US citizen, like asking for this type of permission and all that stuff for the rest of your life. Like, that's not what you plan to do. So that, to me, that's what that looks like. Is more people that actually pull away their attention, their energy, their currency from the system. That is where you start to see that slow die off. You know what I mean? Like, if nobody shows up to the Black Lives Matter protests, then what? You know what I mean? Like, what does that, like, where does that attention, where does that energy go? So like that looks like somebody who stays in this shit and is trying and like shows people the way out. Like the Harriet Tubmans, like my niggas this way. Like that is the path to freedom. Like that's what I see as poisoning, because all that other destruction shit and like trying to burn shit down, all that shit, that don't really mean nothing. Like if they still got your energy and your mind.
Look, I ain't never had no girl, or no woman, excuse me, defile any of my property and nothing like that, because I'm a pretty good selector of the opposite sex. However, I know people that have, and when I have these conversations with women that I met, that I've been dating or whatever, I just tell them, how I would respond to something like that, and I think that's why they don't do it, because I'm very like, okay, you're gonna do all that shit and you're still gonna be back. Now, if you just were to up and leave, then yeah. But the fact that you're devoting energy, your energy is the currency. And currency is the current that makes us, that electrifies and You get what the fuck I'm saying?
Animates.
Yeah. So it's like, to do all of that, you're no different than, okay, you slashed 3 of my tires. Okay, you lit my clothes on fire. Okay, you threw bleach on my Timbs. But here you are.
Like,
And that box
yeah.
will be fire when you come back.
And you say what?
And that box gonna be fire when you come back.
I mean, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're really like that distraught to like fight for inclusion in something and fight for something, and you're not ready to give it up, you definitely gonna be back. You're definitely addicted to the abuse. You definitely want the love of your abuser, the acceptance, the recognition, the apology. Like that's where you really gonna get caught up, is even after you quote unquote leave or you do whatever, you still caught up in the apology. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where like some quote unquote Black power people are. You know what I mean? Like, well, fuck the system, but they need to do this, 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 and this, and this. So I thought it was fuck the system. You don't need them to do shit then, right? You know what I mean? Like, so.
Look, some slaves just came back to the plantations like, yeah, we free now, but I kind of, I need a place to stay.
Need that job. Yeah, I ain't really had nowhere to go. That's real shit though. You know, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you don't know.
So about 20 minutes ago, I realized that the title of this episode is going to be Cults, Culture, and Holla-Daze.
Okay.
So with this culture of celebrations, they're already shooting off fireworks now. I hear them. What would you say Black people should have in mind going into this holiday, just any holiday in general?
I would say truly understand and ask yourself why you are celebrating it. Like, why are you celebrating? Like, really think about why you're celebrating it and what the meaning is and what its purpose is. You know what I mean? Why are you celebrating? What is the purpose of celebrating it? Is it to move you forward in any way? Is it productive in any way? Is it only destructive? Like, start asking yourself these questions about these holidays and these rituals that you're participating in. I think that is the start. Like, that ain't putting no blame, pointing no fingers, or doing nothing. Like, it's about you doing the inner work. Like, you doing the work to figure out why you doing what you doing.
Right.
Like, and don't lie to yourself. Don't be like, oh, it's because my this and that and the independence and we was just da 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 da. Like, I could have been like, I'm celebrating the 4th because I know the slaves used to turn up on the plantation on the 4th because all the slave masters was gone. And that I can give myself that excuse, but that's really not why I'm celebrating the fucking. You know what I mean? That's right. Not why I'm doing it. You know, like, so don't do that. Like, if you don't do that, then don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's lame. Like, I don't like lame shit. But like, start asking yourself these questions so that if somebody do come at you with like some, well, why are you doing this? Did you know this? Did you know this? Like, have an answer. Because if you don't have an answer, that's when you just look ignorant. Like, you just really a sheep.
You a hater. Just a hater.
Like, yeah, like, so it's just like, now you just a sheep. Like, if you don't have a real reason or a real thing, now you have to own that you're a sheep. You've been a sheep. You don't have to stay a sheep, but you've been a sheep because you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing. You're just being herded in a direction for somebody else's control, for somebody else's dreams, for somebody else's whatever. Like, but I respect all religions.
Yeah. And, I think what Black people really unconsciously, they won't admit that they want this, but they just want an oppressor that's a little nicer.
That's why they're gonna go back to Africa.
Yes, so they can be
oppressed by the Chinaman.
Yes, exactly. Niggas have yellow dicks.
They gonna be a whole lot better than the white man. Got us a new master.
Yeah, ain't ready for no general South slavery.
Now, here's the thing about it is, what is happening with that is that Black people are kind of being allowed to move in as the bourgeoisie class underneath the Chinese. So they're not going to be the lowest on the totem pole anymore. That's going to be the Africans, the actual people that were in the country. They're still going to be treated the exact same, but Black people will be that upper middle class now.
So they get to be the white people that they always wanted to be.
Just wanted to be. Yes. Problem solved.
On all the way across the country to just be a white man. Bleach cream not included.
Oh man, they ain't gonna be able to find no lotions in Africa without bleach cream in it.
Damn.
Woo. All that shea butter. Yeah. Listen, let me stop. But yes, that is what's happening. And I just want people to think. I think that's always the key is. Think. Why? Ask yourself why. Why are you doing it? Why are you giving it your attention? If you can't answer that question, then stop fucking doing it. Like, real shit. Just stop.
Yeah. Even the concept of, I just because I want to. Like, well, why do you want to do that? Do you know why you want to do that? You know.
Because I want to. That's literally what my 5-year-old says. Like, that's literally his reason for everything. But mommy, I want to. But why you want to? Because mommy, I want to. I'm like, niggas is 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I just want to. No control over your wants or desires. Just like, you just want to because you've seen it. Somebody else did it. Like, monkey see, monkey do.
Basically. And monkeys.
That's depressing. Well, I just got depressed.
Monkey's not a racially exclusive title, by the way.
It is not.
So people want to find you. Where can they find you?
AjayaDivine.com. I am still Ajaya Divine on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram whenever I make that comeback. And then my podcast, Infinite Beings Unite, is on Spotify and Anchor. And probably here next week.
Yeah, probably. Come up with a good topic. So yeah, you can find me where you found me at. Make sure that you like, subscribe, slander, and all that. And we'll catch y'all next week.
Peace.